Hello, my name's Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show 2.0. We have a special guest today who's going to tell us all about a new adjustable driver. I mean, you will not believe this thing, and talk about how it can fix your slice, fix your hook, fix your everything. Gary, I know you know more about golf playing of it than I do, so I'm going to turn you over to get started.
Well, it's the Cobra adaptable driver, and it's got you can change it more ways than Baskin Robbins has flavors.
Right.
And we've got Jose Miraflor of Cobra here today. To this is another, I think, pretty big innovation in golf. I mean, first we
It's
had
huge.
adjustable shafts for drivers, and now you've got something that can adjust 33 ways. Is that right, Jose? So, how did this come about? And I mean, how did you go about building something like that?
It's our job to challenge ourselves every once in a while, right? We've been part of the adjustable hosel system now for a bunch of years, and our hosel had an 8-way adjustable system where there's 5 for lofts and then 3 for draw settings. And a few years ago, I asked the innovation team headed up by Mike Yagley, very smart engineer, and he and the team had been working on stuff on the background. 2 years ago, they sat me down and they said, we have a new hosel system. And I said, okay, good. Do we have now 10 or 12 adjustable settings? And he goes, how would you feel about 33? And I said, hold on, let me sit down. I need to for a second. I said, 33 is a lot. And, I need to understand more what you're talking about. So we spent a lot of time on the driving range doing a lot of testing with the new hosel, the Future Fit 33 hosel. And I want to tell your viewers first and foremost, you don't have to try 33 settings. I think that's what scares everybody. When you hear a number, you really think you have to try all of them. Inevitably, the Future Fit 33 system has 33 different settings for all the different type of golfers that we encounter that come in for a fit. You as a golfer probably need 2 to 3, maybe 4 settings you're going to need to go to. And the way it works is so simple. You sit there with your gamer driver and warm up, and then we'll put you into one of ours that's very similar to your driver. And you're going to hit that, and we're going to notice some speed gains, maybe some consistency gains. But then we're going to try and ask you, where do you think you hit the ball on a normal basis in our neutral setting? A1 is our neutral, right? Standard loft, standard lie angle. And then if from there you're like me and I say, well, tend to hit the ball low left, then we just need to find you a setting that's in the high right area of our Future Fit system. And you try 2 or 3 of those settings, you're going to fall in love. It's that
Oh,
simple.
so
Within 3 settings,
you find the opposite of what a
that's
person
right.
is doing, and they wouldn't have to do anything extra. They just swing the club, and they should get a better shot.
Kathy, can I just bring you everywhere I go? You explain that better than I do. You explain it better than most people can understand. It's really that simple. Wherever you hit the ball, we're going to take you on our spectrum, the opposite side. So if you hit it low left like me, we're going to take you to high right. It's a little bit flatter. It's going to be a little bit higher. And we're going to put me into that so it straightens out my low left shot. I get to keep my swing. I get to keep my timing. We tighten my dispersion, and I can now swing freely knowing that we're removing the low left out of my game. I don't have to steer the ball. Inevitably, you swing with confidence. You can swing a little faster. You're going to gain more speed than you gain just by changing driver heads. It's a win-win for everybody, and our fitters love it because it's so intuitive. It's the
Yeah,
first system that actually allows you to be able to fit from a center. So if this is our fitting
yeah,
system, I was just
right.
showing you that I
Yeah,
tend to hit it low left. We just brought me all the way up here to
okay.
B6, and that's where I'm actually fit. So wherever you hit it on here, you just have to be honest with yourself and
Yeah,
say, I tend to hit it. Most people hit it high right? They hit a
yeah,
slice. So
yeah.
we're going to fit them the opposite. We're going to go down here to
Okay.
allow them to try something that's going to change their ball flight from a high cut to a nice little straight shot or a low draw. Inevitably, what you're trying to bring people closer to is an A1 ball flight that gives them the most neutral ball flight they can have.
I'm picturing the scales of justice. You're just bouncing off. You're taking the low left and you're balancing it with thing, and you get to even, and that's what you want. Except in this case, instead of justice being blind, you've got a trained fitter who's got his eyes open. But that makes perfect sense. Now here's the problem, Jose. I don't need 33 settings, but if I'm going to Baskin Robbins, I'm trying all 31 flavors eventually. I've got like a checklist, and I'm going to go through them, by God, and taste every one. So if I've got 33 settings, I am going to, because you can't be too careful. I might have missed something.
You know what, Gary? I think what's great about that is if somebody like you who's changed their first name to Adaptable, if you were to try the 33 settings, I predict one, you're going to be very tired.
Two, I might have to spread it over a month. Maybe one a day.
Two, you'll be able to speak to the range that we have. So, I tell people, they ask me, how much range are we talking about? And I say, from the most flattest to the most upright, there's about 16 and a half yards of tunability. And if you put the weights on one of our drivers to even more fade, that gets you 25 yards of tunability right and left. So then up and down, there is another about 875 RPMs of spin tunability, 48 feet or 4 degrees of launch up and down. So it really presents itself a lot of tunability. So there really isn't a golfer out there between our foreheads and each of them having 33 settings that you can't fit a golfer that comes to mind or comes to your fitting center. And one thing you said, Gary, about having a fitter in front of you, most people may not have seen this, but on every driver, fairway, and hybrid, we actually have a QR code now on our products. And if you hover your phone over the QR code, it actually will take you to the fitting system where you can actually learn how to use it yourself. It's so easy. It brings you to a place where you just tap where your ball flies after you hit the ball. You tap where your ball's flying, and it'll make a recommendation for the settings, the 2 or 3 settings for you to try. And again, it tries to take the place of a fitter. I always recommend going to a fitter. But if you're somebody who likes to tinker like you, Gary, you can actually do it on your own. And again, it will never take you through 33 settings. You're going to have to fool it to make you do that, buddy. But it definitely helps you get through the system.
That's the great thing about it is it's been the great thing about the other adjustable drivers and woods. When you can adjust it even 8 ways or 12 ways, you can buy a club knowing I can make this club work. Not like the old days where you came with one shaft and you're stuck with it.
Right.
Now, when you've got 33 settings, if you can't hit one of those, probably you should get some golf lessons it's a great selling point for the average player who is worried about buying the wrong club and getting stuck with it.
Yeah.
This way they're not going to be, unless they're way off on whatever kind of shaft they bought. Did the guys in R&D set out to come up with 64 ways to adjust a club, or did they just stumble onto something that gave them options to get up to 33? I know there's 64 options, but 31 of them are duplicates. Is that
Very
right?
good. That's right. So whenever you change to a double coupling system, when there's an extra coupling here, you're going to get the range. And we're not the only ones to have this. I think what makes us unique is we've taken the opportunity to unlock all the possibilities. To your point, there are 64 settings. 33 of them are unique, and that's why we call it 33, because some of them are duplicates. What's unique about ours as well is it has a true center. All the other single couplings and some of the other double coupling systems don't have a true center, so we can go 2 degrees up, 2 degrees down in loft. We can go 2 degrees flat and 2 degrees more upright in lie angle. The other ones don't do that. And I think that's what's made them harder to understand. Some of them, if you change your loft, you're changing your lie angle more upright or more flat. It's not separated. And what we enjoy about ours is you can completely separate a lie adjustment from a loft adjustment. And that's where we're getting a lot of kudos from our tour staff, the better players out there. A lot of better players don't need more upright lie angles. They need actually flatter, especially when you talk about fairways or hybrids. And we've been able to take advantage of that with the Future Fit 33 system because the lie angle is decoupled from loft.
Now, you guys, I said that Gary was the golfer, but I've heard a lot of golf things from guys on the tour just by covering the tour and by doing the old version of the golf show where I would video golf tips. And right. I remember Dave Stockton Jr., and I apologize to him right away if he's not using Cobra or, whatever. I'm sorry, Dave, but he told me one time we were on one side of the range or the other, whatever side there is at Torrey Pines. And his tip for that day was you wake up in the morning and you were playing a draw yesterday and you get up to the practice area and all you can hit are fades. And so he said, you try and you try and you try and you can't hit your draw. He said, so you got to play for a fade that day. Well, with this club, you don't have to. You can make a change on the range and just go out and swing the club. And in theory, it should bring your shot shape back to what you want, right?
That's right. I've heard people talk about, on windy days, you can bring your ball flight down or bring it up to take advantage of the wind. There's so many different ways you can use the system. I always try and just preach whatever setting that you have that reduces your miss that's predominant and that gives you the most consistency.
Mine can be anywhere, but
that's what you want is the most consistency, right? Fairways are great. Down the fairway really far is even better, right? Yeah. So I think that consistency message can't be said enough. What are the stats? They say when you hit a fairway, you are 70% more likely to hit the green than if you miss the fairway by a foot. It's some incredible stat like that, right?
In my case, I'm 70% more likely to be able to find the ball, which is big. Being able to adjust your club for the conditions. I'm starting to think, how did the USGA let this slide past? It sounds like the kind of thing they would jump on and say, "Oh no, you can't do that."
Well, you just can't adjust it during the round, but you can adjust it before the round, right? And take advantage of firm fairways and let your ball roll down that fairway.
It sounds like it's too helpful to the golfer because they want us all to be miserable.
I would love a golfer to speak to and say, hey, since I've changed the Cobra's Future Fit 33, I've knocked 5 shots off my game. Then the USGA will probably come and question us. But until then, I'm just happy people are saying I'm hitting longer, straighter drives and hopefully scoring a little bit better.
How much of an issue was it having the more just the actual device, the selector device? Because originally when the first adjustable drivers came out, it was kind of a problem. They had to figure out the science of making the club fit and getting the thing on there. And I don't know if you got one handy, but if you hold it up, it's a little bit bigger. Was there any concern about, that's bigger. Was there any concern about the actual device being something that affects the weight and all that stuff?
So we did have to make, to your point, we did have to make the hosel bore a little bit thicker. But what's great about it is we worked with the material engineers downstairs too. So this hosel system, even though it looks a little thicker than our original down here, is actually the same weight. So we had no weight penalty in using this, which is great. We worked with them on the amount of material, the type of material, and where we could save weight with this. And we're happy to say that for most golfers, they never see a thing when they're looking down this. It's made to look as part of the driver, made to look like just a ferrule that's sticking out of the head. And all you can see are these alphanumeric numbers. If you don't see the alphanumeric numbers when you're at address, then you're not noticing anything different. And guess what? We didn't have to pay that weight penalty and lose any performance. So we're excited about that.
Now these came out earlier this year. What's been the response? A little bit from the tour players on your staff, but more about what's been the response from the public?
Yeah, I was there when we introduced the drivers to the tour players. We put it on film, fitting them into it. It was very easy. The likes of Max Homa was one of the first to hit it when he was testing with us before he came over to be part of our dream team here, right? And he said, "Oh my God, my goodness, I find it so easy to adjust this and get it to the right setting." Gary Woodland, Ricky Fowler, Lexi, all of our staffers who've been using it have found it really easy to adjust to, and their settings make sense for what they're trying to create, which is great. And then from the fitter side, the retail side, our custom numbers are up 80+% in most doors, some doors even 100%.
Wow.
They keep telling us even if they're not buying our club, they'll use our club to introduce a flatter Liongle, because not everybody has a flatter Liongle in their driver or fairway hybrid settings, right? Only us. One of the other brands has a point, 0.75 adjustability to flatter, or 1 degree adjustability flatter. We get 2, so we have a lot more settings for better players to take advantage of, and in some really big outer settings where there's 2 degrees of movement for the not so advanced player to take advantage of, right? And that's what the beauty of it is. When you're a better player, you're taking advantage of small movements. When you're not as accomplished of a player, you're going to take advantage of the bigger movements. And that's what I mean when I say there's 3 settings, but not everybody uses them all. It depends on what you need. Every person's a little different.
So what is Ricky Fowler's favorite setting? Go.
So Ricky Fowler likes to hit a draw now. So for years, Ricky has been playing a draw. I mean a fade, and this year he wants to hit a draw. So Ricky's actual setting is D2, which is right here. It's a standard loft, but it's a little bit left, if you can see that. All right. And Max Homa is down here, right? So everybody's a little bit different. So they're using the inside adjustment rings rather than the outside. They don't need the big movement. But
what is the Jose Miraflor number?
I am, I'm happy to
You're
tell you,
Z29.
I was the low left, and now I'm the B6. So B6 is 1.4 degrees more loft. So my driver loft is really almost a 12-degree loft. Slow swing speed, slow old man, and then it's about 1.4 degrees flatter because I have fast hands, and my swing plane's a little flatter. I don't need it to go left, so we're trying to make it match my Liongle. So very, very effective for me. I still hit a lot of fairways. I wish it was farther down the fairway, as we all do. But I can happily say that my game's getting better. It's a lot easier to find greens from the fairway.
Oh, absolutely.
The setting on my current driver is B bad. So I feel like I should switch that in one way or the other.
Come to Carlsbad. Come to Carlsbad. Let us fit you. It'd be nice for you guys to get some good weather for a change.
The weather's been spotty here, and I'm blaming that for my inability to remember how to swing a club this year. It couldn't possibly be my age. But now I had a good question for you. I forgot what it was, but that's the way it goes when you get old.
I'll jump in and say that adaptable Van Sickle is probably the least descriptive for you of anything, any of your descriptive terms that you've used so far on this show.
I love the new first name.
There you go. Well, that's we got to support you with the name of the club. If I'm currently using like an Autoflex, one of the real light shafts.
Oh yeah.
How compatible is that with the Cobra adjustable?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what shaft you use.
I didn't think.
As long as you have it in the hosel system, whatever that shaft is giving you in the neutral setting, you just need to adjust that to help you dial in that ball flight for you. So yeah, we carry that shaft too. We can make that shaft. We do anything and everything for people that need the help in their metalwoods with this system. Which
you just have to make sure you have the right connector to go with the.
That's right.
The Cobra's connector is a little different than those other brands.
That's right.
I'd love to see
we shall remain nameless.
Yeah, The engineers must have just come out of their first design meeting with like their eyeballs going all over creation, thinking about how many different twists and turns. It's kind of like the Tom Hanks movie. The what was it?
The Money Pit.
The Da Vinci
No,
Code,
the
where you have
Vinci Code.
Yeah.
We had to
Yeah.
solve the cipher.
yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
you know what? It took me and my fitting team. So I'm in charge of product line managers and the fitting team here. We all took a day, took the drivers that were prototypes at the time, and we spent a full 8-hour day on the range, just each dialing each other in and learning
Wow.
from each other's ball flights how much
Okay.
ball flight change we saw, and we developed the fitting protocol for this. I'm lucky. I have a very savvy team of fitters here, and they found it so easy to use. The fitting protocol was very easy for us, and we took the R&D team out to show them what we have come up with, and they said, well, that was better than what we thought we were going to come up with. That's so simple to do that we said the only thing that we could mess up is when you tell somebody there's 33 settings, they kind of get scared, right? And I think that's a little bit of what I've heard as I've traveled the United States this year is some people hear 33 and they think I can never go through that many settings. You don't need to. And I think that's the big thing I'm hoping people take away from our fun discussion today is you only need 3 out of 33 settings. You just need to figure out which 3 those are. Right?
Hold up the chart again. It's as easy as holding up the chart.
Yeah. And you know what? If you don't have a chart like this ready for you or handy, all you need to do is go to our app or our website. These charts are available. And it actually, when you pull up that QR code on the bottom of the driver Farrier hybrid, it brings you to those charts and teaches you how to use them. They are so easy to use once you figure out how to do it. It's as simple as you said it, Kathy. Wherever your ball flies, you're going to just pick the settings on the opposite direction and you're going to fall in love with one of those. I guarantee it.
Even on the current drivers with 12 or 16 settings, as soon as you figure your setting out, honestly, you never really adjust it again.
You don't need to touch it.
You just leave it there. So it would almost be easier to have it be a fitting tool, and then you get the driver made and you don't have to have the adjustable head, but it's so convenient to have that on there.
And that's what we do too, right? So people go in for a fitting and say, for example, my fit, which is B6, what we'll do is we'll take your shaft, put the new hosel tip on it, and we'll automatically set it to B6 where the logos match up to B6 because you probably will never need to change it. So you want the logo of the shaft down. If you use a rib grip, you want to have that at the bottom too. So we'll build it exactly to your specs if you custom order it. And I think that's one of the beauties of having the system is you only need to adjust it really once, unless you're somebody who's investing time in your game, you're working with the teacher and you're changing parts of your game. What's great about it is that the driver can change with you. Yes. Right. If you go from hitting low lefts like me and you get a better teacher and learn to hit it straight down the line, not be so handsy, I might start to miss it to the right. Well, then I would need to change it a little bit to bring it back left or maybe a little bit lower, but you still have that ability. You don't outgrow your product. You can make your product grow with you.
Or you wake up and you're suddenly a year older. That could do it too.
Or you wake up and you got, your back hurts that day and you can't hit it the way you usually hit it, but you're not going to not play golf because you're a stubborn person. So you're going to go out.
Every time I wake up and I put 2 feet on the floor, I'm happy. So I'm going to play golf. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to be happy that I mean.
But it's, it could be you wake up and you got the 2 feet on the floor, but you got something that isn't quite working right someplace else. And so if you can adjust your club to go out and still play golf, that's a bonus for anybody.
Well, Jose, people can find the Cobra driver anywhere. They can go. Give them the website. What's the suggested retail price?
Suggested retail is $549. You can go on to cobragolf.com to find it. And, we're partners with just about everybody out there. Just about every single golf shop will carry our product lines. You can talk to your local golf pros. They'll know about it. Really, we want to make it easy for everybody out there. Our goal as product designers, engineers, is to make this game that we all love easier. And it doesn't matter your age. It's a hard game.
So you people out there have no excuse for not checking this out.
Have no excuse now because this club it looks good and it can actually work with whatever your game is. Today, tomorrow, the next day, next week,
It's
whatever.
adjustable. It's versatile.
That's right.
My only complaint would be, I think the name could have been sexier.
Yeah, so we called it the Gary driver.
No, yeah, I don't think you heard me. I said sexier. Like Voltron, the Transformer, or the Mutator, or
yes.
the Morphomatic, something
I wanted to make it
the Changeling. I don't know, something.
I wanted to make this made out of vibranium, but I was afraid that the guys would be starting to come after me, right? I don't need the Captain America or any of those people coming after me because I use vibranium.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's possible the Transformer movie people might have some trademarks.
Transformers, that would be tough too. Can't call it the Prime driver. I'm probably going to come after there too.
Yeah.
Kryptonite. That's somebody's probably got a trademark on that too.
Probably
well, work on that next time. We need more sex in your drivers.
That's right. We're going to work on it.
What was the last thing? And we'll let you go. The first meeting when you came out and they announced this, I don't know if they announced it in the staff meeting. What was the first thing out of somebody's mouth that was either funny or probably inappropriate out of the shock of 33 adjustments? Somebody had to let something slip that was funny.
It was me. The engineers had sat me down, and you know me, I'm not one to hold my thoughts. You never have to say, Jose, tell me how you really feel. So my words were holy bleep. And it was a 4-letter word, and it wasn't golf, but you hear it a lot when you're on the golf course. And I had to sit down and I had to say, tell me more, because I'm already scared. So they said, you asked for it. I said, I asked for 12. You gave me 33. So now let me back it up and say, let's talk about how this 33 helps everyone. So they were able to explain it to me.
This is how you get a nickname. You could turn into Jose Bleep.
Jose Bleep. I've been called worse than that.
Hey, nice shot, Bleep. Thanks, Jose, filling us in on the Cobra adaptable driver, 33 ways. And now, if we weren't in different cities, we could all go get ice cream together. So thanks, Jose, for being in the Golf Show 2.0.